Or everybody,
I don't
No,
think,
we just do a winter rate. There's no resident,
okay,
non-resident, senior, anything like that. It's just a straight winter rate.
okay,
That's what we've always done.
okay.
good. What else? What did we talk about? Anything else?
The Buckley School for the spring and hiring a golf pro for the spring and water, making free water available.
I talked to Chris about the water, he thinks maybe, well, you could tell him, Chris, it's kind of a tough one because Spirit is selling
Yeah,
water
so
stuff.
as the water is concerned, that would have to be run through Barrett because he does have the food and beverage, agreement. So anything in that nature would have to be run through him.
Hey, Chris, I don't mean to interrupt you, but it's a public course. And it's called hydration, and so the only time you can go by there is when you come off the 11th. I mean, I know weekends there's a taco, but
Yeah,
I know we took it away for COVID, but
yeah.
I gotta be honest with you. It's horrible. That's ridiculous. So I mean, I know it's a private company, but I mean, I'll speak to my gut if I have to. That's ridiculous. We can't have water jugs out there. I mean,
Yeah, I get it,
well, let me ask you a question though. Has anybody approached him and said, can we put the buckets back out there like every couple holes? Or we just assume because he has the beverage account, he's gonna say no. Why don't we ask him and let him say no, then we can do something about it. He might say yes. I mean, if I buy, I'll order a beer or a soda or something in return, but on the third hole or something, or the sixth hole, wherever they are, I wouldn't mind a little quick, swig of water just if it's hot out. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, I think someone should ask him. But
Yeah, we can ask him, see what he says. So that's not a problem.
okay, thank you.
Sure.
I think we're all unanimous in feeling the same way about that.
Totally agree. I
Yeah.
don't take a
There
vote.
should be water out there.
If he says no, then we take the next step and go to the town and just say that's not acceptable.
Well, who would be putting the water out there? Would it be the food and beverage people or would it be the
Well, it would be
Of course,
the ground school, like they always did.
yeah,
Could be.
I think part of the issue is too, when we did have water out there, we're basically getting it out of a hose. And the drinking water in Bridgewater is not the greatest.
I drink Bridgewater water every day. Sometimes I filter it, sometimes I don't.
Yeah. So that's the only way we'd be able to do it if, we were able to, it comes straight out of the hose and,
Well, hey, Chris, no one's gonna sit there and drink that much water. You'll have the finger pressing it. I'm just saying, you put out a couple of jugs. How many did we have out there before? 3, 4?
One on,
before.
yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah.
You have to have it. If you have people out there golfing.
It helps him. He's serving alcohol. These guys are drinking water, helps them hydrate. Because if he's serving alcohol, he's liable for alcohol, isn't he? So if they have a little water in between, it's only helping them.
No, you want just have the water.
No, I
Yeah,
know, but if
so-
we're offering free water,
Well, we can
Yeah.
throw that to,
but that should.
Spirit, we'll see what he says, and then, I'm sure, Chris, you can report to, the higher ups, let us know.
Bad water.
As far as the Buckley school, that it might be a tough one just because of the I talked to Chris today about it. I'll let him talk to you too, but there's really no volunteers over there anymore. I mean, so the whole thing is run with volunteers. So I think maybe we could talk to Dutton or something, have Chris talk to him or whatever, but what do you think, Chris? That was your feeling today, right?
Yeah, so we're in the process of hiring an assistant pro, whatever you want to call them. They'll be employees of Troon, so they'll be able to teach on the premises, and we'll develop a lesson program, a junior program, that type of thing. But as far as the Buckley School of Old, as Jimmy said, that would be a tough thing to do because in the past it was run by, I oversaw everything, but the teaching and stuff was done by George and Dick and the BR Golf and BP Golf teams. But the way things stands now, anyone on the premises doing work has to be an employee of Troon, and that's their policy for liability reasons. So volunteering isn't allowed, and it would be extremely difficult for whoever ends up being the assistant pro doing something at least in the same capacity that we did before. When at its height we had 70 kids out there at a time, and that's just not feasible. So as far as we'll do a slimmed down version of it, but what that will be, we'll still have to determine between myself and whoever I end up hiring.
How do other towns that are under contract with private entities do schools like this, like the Buckley School? We really don't want to see the Buckley School go away. It's a great way for kids to get indoctrinated into golf. Is there any other way we can do
I
this?
agree, as far as, doing a junior program is concerned, but to that size and magnitude, it short of pulling every single employee that we have to do that, it would be a very, very tough thing to do.
Well, how do other towns do it? Anyone know anything about that?
I don't even know if they do that. That was something unique, I think, to the golf commission. But I don't know.
We,
Yeah, I don't know.
how many years is that? 20 years? We've run that program
Holly was involved,
at least.
I'd say probably 20, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that, stopping that program. But we have to see what they wrote into the contract. Because I just sworn I saw, and Jimmy Campbell mentioned it, that they were gonna keep it. But this is the kind of thing Jim was worried about. He kept saying, they could watch it, they'll take that away because it's easy.
It's not a money maker.
No. And I understand their
But
situation.
can volunteers be covered under an umbrella policy?
No, Troon's policy is everyone working on the premises that they manage, regardless here, Falmouth Country Club, Ocean Edge, Lake of Isles, wherever, you have to be an employee of Troon.
So why can't they hire for even a scaled out version of the school? Why can't they hire a handful of people?
Because they're gonna have to pay those people.
Right, but I mean, they did 1,000 rounds in January, then what it will be, May, June, July.
I think Troon has no idea what the Buckley camp is about, so they don't really care. They just care about the dollar. But I think there's gonna be some way around it. And to me, it just
I would like
doesn't make
to,
sense that, this. The tradition and the history of it. And I just think that it would be a publicity nightmare if you could get George and Dick and other people to be willing to volunteer. And it's not a summer program, it's like a 4-day, right? And not even a week long or something, so they could run their junior camps, on to make money.
Monday through Thursday, 2 weeks.
I know weeks to adjust that. Just adjust it.
Yeah.
Cut it down.
Yeah, you can cut it back. I mean,
Cut it back a couple of days. I agree. We can get volunteers, they're on town property. Not like they're on.
Down on land.
So it's not they're not
so they
represented.
might be covered by the town
By the
policy
town.
too.
If we say they're working for the rec board, they're covered by the rec board, not by them.
Right. I
It's
would,
like other programs going to college.
Jimmy, you ran it last, you want it,
Chris always, man, I always volunteered.
I'm saying that if you could run it for them.
I would run it, but it doesn't,
What
I mean, I
happens
think we could have, there's plenty of people that would volunteer, but it just sounds like
No, just somebody to be in charge of it.
We need
who
to,
works for the town.
Oh,
But if Chris, if I'm hearing this correctly, everyone's listening to the same conversation. and they don't want to cover it because they need employees. So we give them a town employee, he's covered by the town. It's a town recreational facility that they manage, but they don't own the land. So why couldn't we do that, circumvent that whole?
Yeah.
It'd be the same as volunteer coaching. Field, you know, they're-
Because it's town-owned property.
Might be something you probably could have,
In Brooklyn, we sent a letter to Mike Dutton.
yeah, you know, that thing would have to be cleared by those guys.
But you're gonna get the same answer you always do, and we've been waiting to see a contract.
I'd like to see True on a call when the contract started. They had said they would be at, I don't know, 4 or 5 meetings. We saw them at 1. And after that, they said it would be Chris would be updating us. Does True giving reports to the town on how things are going? Or do they just go their merry little way?
I don't think he understood the question. Chris understood the
Does
question.
Chris, does True, do you know if they give updates to the town? Like, I don't know, income, just in general, how things are going? Or do they just go their merry little way?
No, myself and Ryan, my boss, we meet approximately quarterly via Teams with Laurie Guarini and Tony Salmonte, the town's finance director. And we give updates as far as finances and rounds and all of that. So they
Okay.
have all the information, and we'll be providing them soon with the 2022 summary. So they'll have that information as well, but we do approximately quarterly meet with them, and that's at, what was agreed upon. Any other time they just want to check in, we're happy to hop on to a Teams call or, whatever, I'm at the course daily, but, my boss, he works out of Connecticut, so he's not readily available every day to just, pop in.
Right. Okay.
Is how the golf course did financially public information?
I believe so, but again, that would be something that would probably be discussed with the town manager.
We've been trying to figure that out for a long time.
It used to be public information, but now that it's run by another company. I don't know if that makes a difference.
Still municipal, we still don't have access to the information.
Yeah, I think they'll probably give some sort of report when they get the numbers in, and like Chris says, when they finally give them the numbers on the rounds for the year.
But I think we'd like to see, I don't know what I'd like to see more than once a year. That was our big issue with Charlie too, that we weren't getting the information. I think once a year isn't enough.
It's just like that meeting, we should be on that meeting.
Well, we can try to.
No.
But Mr. Anthony did give you
Yeah.
printed out statements for every meeting of the rounds done that month. Right? He did.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
submitted them to
did.
Superintendent Small.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
and
that's
For
true.
every rec commission meeting we've had, he's given
That's
us the
true.
rounds and how much money we've made. So, yeah, I think if we just write an email to Mike Dutton, I know that hasn't really worked out all that well, but that might be,
At least it's in writing.
that's pretty much all I think you guys can do for now.
No response or just dodging around? There's no response whatsoever.
No.
He doesn't have to respond.
Asking to be included, is that what you want the email to say?
It's bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, initially, Mike Dutton didn't want to give any figures or facts out because the second bidder on the golf course awarding of managing it was suing the town. Has that suit gone away?
I don't know anything
Good
about,
question.
I haven't heard anything
You know
about that.
anything? Because that was not an excuse, but that was his comment that he couldn't share any of the finances with us back a year ago.
Probably because of the lawsuit.
I don't know.
Anyway, is there anything else for Mr. Anthony?
Chris has got COVID, so he's gotta get to,
He's gonna get rest.
he's gotta get to bed.
Yeah, well, thank you for the updates.
Yeah,
Thank you, Chris.
thanks, Chris.
Hey, Chris, get well.
Thanks, Chris. I'll talk to you.
All right,
Thank you, Chris.
Okay,
Good luck. Right.
get well.
Thanks.
Mr. Flaherty, do you
Yeah.
want to take the spring track program out of order?
Yes.
Sure, that would be great if everyone is all okay with that. We'll talk to Sam.
Yes, Mr. Buron and Ms. Guasconi just made a motion.
Okay,
Yes,
Seconded, all.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Go ahead, Sam.
I'm just coming to see if you folks have some kind of resolution to the insurance question, which I guess is the big question. You know, we haven't had track for probably 3 going on 4 years now, partly because of the pandemic, partly because of lack of volunteers. And similarly for the cross-country program that has not happened in the fall, also since 2019. So, and in discussing this with Joe Gillis, he, I guess, has been in contact with you and the town manager and learning that the town is not willing or able to cover the programs like they used to do. And going back in history, the Recreation Commission has always been a sponsor of these, and the town has sponsored and provided insurance coverage. So Joe Gillis took over the organization about 5 years ago, and I kind of dropped into the background. I'm not interested in being a leader of the programs again, but I certainly would like to see them live on and move ahead, but we can't move ahead without a go-ahead from the town or some other way of ensuring the program. So I just wanted to hear what you folks are thinking about that, or what the dilemmas are, and is there anything that can be done?
We're just reading, hang on, Sam, we're just reading.
Yeah.
Trying to find what are they doing?
Oh, yeah.
What are the dates on this one?
Huh? These were emails that came in
Oh,
like yesterday and today.
okay, because the last thing I was aware of was Joe was here, we endorsed it wholeheartedly, and he was gonna go meet with,
And that went to town hall.
and
We got a reply saying to go meet and talk about it.
so.
So why don't I,
Go.
Sam, why don't I give him the background?
Michael Dutton and Kimberly Williams.
Sam, why don't I give him the background on that meeting? Sam came here and sat down with me on January, I can't read my writing, 2nd or something like that. And he provided me with the very detailed on the history of the track program, the road race, and then the cross country, and the years that they started and all that. And I told him that I'd go talk to the town, which I did. And their feeling is that because we don't oversee it, we don't hire any of the employees, and we don't run it, and we don't have it on our property, that they don't want to be liable for it. So then I called Sam back up, I think maybe a week later, and told him what they had told me. And they did tell me if he wants to come in and talk to them, that he can certainly come in, and they'll
What I don't understand about this is, like, I was just trying to put in perspective, as an athletic director, we had teams go to Bridgewater State, Spectrum Gymnastics, the hockey rink, and the school insurance, which is a municipality, so in its own right.
It's because your coach is employed by by the school, or they're.
We had volunteers sometimes too. I'm thinking other not just, but all you did. I used to go up to Estabrook and get a rider on the insurance and just fill out the different places, and that was covered.
I know, I know, but we can.
I guess the frustrating thing for me is on this board, and I've been saying it for 2 years, we don't get any answers from anybody, you know, and I know you know it is, Jimmy. But up the street here, they don't respond and they don't care, and they do what they want, but yet. People expect us to know what's going on, and we're left in the dark constantly that we're really wasting our time. I mean, why are we having this committee when we have the golf course, now this? For them to tell me that a recreation program sponsored by the town rec commission and the town rec department, they can't cover? We're not. I mean, even if there was a paid coach, all the kids and other people would come and watch the event. That would be covered under the auspices of the recreation department, which is a department in this town. Unless I've never heard of this, because other towns do it. I mean,
No,
and other towns send their kids into Bridgewater State for different things. And there's gotta be a rider on our insurance in this town that would cover that.
Well, what about when we had the swimming program? Did we have a rider to cover the kids in the air? I think we did, didn't we?
No, we used to run the college pool.
And it
We
was
had
just the
that-
town insurance.
It was always under our insurance, the town, because we sponsored it.
We just have to be careful that they're throwing all these excuses out at us. For historical programs that have been going on for a long time, and they were able to be run before, and now because they throw these excuses out, the programs go to the side.
Yeah.
I
It's not
was
right.
thinking-
Maybe we need to go to a town council meeting and.
I think that's exactly right.
Mhm.
Or at least get a couple of counselors to come in and we voice our opinion to them, because, you know, we meet, it's so frustrating. They seem to just put bombs in front of us so we can't do these programs.
Kevin Perry's son was in the track program several years ago. And you also have Dennis Gallagher, who's a runner. So you might have some sympathetic ears on the council. And I'd be happy to talk to Mike Dutton and Kimberly Williams. I talk to them all the time about everything else in town, so. Not that it would do any good, but. You know, the point is that we can't go ahead unless we have some kind of, and even if we go ahead, we don't know if we can make it go without volunteers, but.
Well,
Obviously, we can't move ahead without some approval, so.
Can you get, okay, Sam?
What's that?
Can you get volunteers? Can you get people at least to commit? Because if we step out and really push hard. I want to make sure it's a go. It's not that we go and all of a sudden it doesn't happen.
Yeah. Well, I think it's what comes first, the chicken or the egg? I don't know.
They both might be in a line too, you know, so we do, obviously you can't set up
Sam,
all staff for it.
question for you, and I don't know the answer of the other one. Is there like a nominal fee every kid pays just to kind of cover the minimal expenses, or is this always? been-
Yes, we've always charged the fee, which, because we have to pay the university for the track.
Okay, having said
No.
that, then, so just hear me out. Having run camps in the past, there's some pretty inexpensive. Maybe the rec department could do this. Purchase, you know, those blanket coverages for camps. There's
Yeah.
companies out there. And maybe it's $5-10 extra per kid. I know we don't want to increase costs, but. If, to me, that far out is minor compared to the benefits they get from that camp, you know.
Well, it could be. We've been charging, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of $35-40, which covers the shirt, and it's covered our rental fees, which are pretty steep, actually, and any equipment that we buy.
Now, Sam, I have a question for the track is done in the spring, cross country's in the fall, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so at least for now, you use the college track.
That's what we have been using, yeah. We
Why
have to
can't
go
you
through
use
the rental.
The high school track, are there 2 tracks there?
High school
There's one
track.
track at the high school, I would say, and I'm not an employee anymore. It's not safe, number one.
Okay.
And what I'm hearing, it's gonna be under construction, but that could be a future site, hopefully. I mean, I think, you know.
We cannot, well, obviously, we can't use the high school track now because it is in poor repair. And even after that, then we have to deal with storage because we have a whole shed full of equipment stored at Swenson Field under the bleachers. We'd have to have a safe, secure site for all the youth track equipment. So there'd be some logistical issues in moving it to BR in the future.
Hey, Sam, can I ask you just a couple of questions? What's the college charging you first?
I believe it was somewhere in like about 1,500, and that was half price.
And that's for how many weeks?
It's 8 weeks. I could confirm that with Joe Gillis because he was in on that.
All right, 8 weeks.
8 weeks total or 8? for
8
fall?
weeks, 2 days a week. So 16 sessions, basically, for an hour and a half each.
All right, how about, are they charging you for the rental of where you store the stuff?
No, that's just underneath the bleachers. Joe Gillis actually paid for one of those sheds you put up, like a backyard shed, and they gave us some space underneath the bleachers behind a fenced area. So it's pretty secure. We have it locked up. We're the only ones who have the keys. So we have hurdles in there, and all our throwing equipment and agility equipment, stuff like that is all stored there.
Is the college asking you for insurance?
College, I think the college needs it, yes.
Yeah, you
and
have
that's-
to provide like, we could go, the swim team goes there, or even if we used to have track meets, like lead track meets, we had to provide a copy of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, the contract always came to the rec office. Charlie Simons would do all that background work, and he would sign off on the contract, and I think he signed off on the insurance coverage. And there was a time when we used to do all the money through the rec commission, and Brooke can tell you all about that, because she was always the go-to person for taking the money in and paying for the t-shirts and whatever. And then 3 or 4 years ago, Joe Gillis created a Bridgewater Running Club account. So we took the money operations away from Brooke and the rec commission, and Joe has managed that out of the running club account.
I think,
that's the
I
problem.
think that might be part of the problem, is because the money, things aren't being paid through. Money coming in
Yeah,
isn't going to Parks and Rec, and Parks and Rec is not paying the invoices.
That's it.
So I think that might be the problem. We'd have to check with
yeah.
the town.
Oh, we'd be
I
happy to
think-
send the money back to you if you want it.
No, not that, but
Well, no, I think if you do that, it'd have to be a rec program, and, but.
Yeah.
The other thing would be, like I said before, you guys could purchase yearly insurance thing from those companies that,
Maybe so.
yeah, I'm just trying to think about, other options if we don't.
Yeah.
I've got a question, and I just joined, it's my first meeting. What is it we're looking for from the town, money wise, to cover what, just insurance?
I just want, well, we thought being a rec program, that the town insurance would cover the kids to go to the college. And that's what the college wants, which,
Yeah,
understandably so. If you had a camp here, whatever it was, soccer camp on Legion Field, we're covered under the blanket because
Right.
it's down, it's a recreation program. So I really think one or two things, we have to either put the running program back into the recreation as a recreation program. Or,
that's it.
right,
it's really not, it's not a right now, it's not a rec department entity,
right,
even though we're endorsing it.
Yeah.
It used to be a recreation department entity,
so that's it, that makes sense. Here, worst case scenario, the town just refuses to communicate and play ball. They could actually, if they're their own running club entity, they could purchase their own insurance and
Exactly.
deal with just the college directly. So you can still salvage the program if the town won't play ball.
Right.
So we don't necessarily have to rule out the program.
I don't think, I didn't realize this the last time when Joe was here, I guess I misunderstood it. I don't think the town can play ball right now as it exists, because they're
Right.
really technically a
It's
private
separate,
running
separate
club,
thing, right?
you know.
Right, I understood from what Joe had said was money coming in. Goes
That's
into
what
Parks and Rec. and Parks
5
and
minutes
Rec
is.
pays out.
They could still.
It sounds like they
spend
haven't been
with the
given the
college
pocket
on
right
their own.
through us.
So if they want
Right.
it through us, then it has to.
Hey,
be
Sam.
programs.
Yeah,
Your email that has 3 points on it with your perspective. The last paragraph, you mentioned the private insurance.
yeah.
Would it be possible just to look into that just as a backup in case the town says no?
We can, we haven't done that yet, but that just came to my own mind about a week ago, and now it's come to your mind, so.
Well,
I'll
it came
check
to my
back
mind
with-
because Danny mentioned it and you
I
wrote
didn't even
it.
read that, to be honest with you, I just was thinking out
Yeah.
loud, having run camps myself in the
Yeah.
past.
It could be the way to go, especially if it's not too expensive, and if we have to raise the fees a bit, then we raise the fees. It's actually a pretty cheap program when you look at it compared to others, so.
Based on having kids in sports right now in Bridgewater, which is, it's that way everywhere, but $35 is, that's nothing. That's, and
Yeah,
every sport, the boys in soccer, when we had to raise insurances, COVID, everything else, we just tacked it onto the program. It sucked, but that's just what we did. We had to pass the cost along. In
Mhm.
baseball, if we're faced with that, potentially we have to do the same thing. There's only so much, we're not making money off the insurance, but the money's gotta come from somewhere.
I
yeah,
could send my child for 16 nights. An hour and a half,
That's 45.
I mean, that's
I would pay 500.
24 hours that you guys have them, teaching them a lot. It's a real good
Yeah,
place.
Hey, Joe, will you do this? Just so we're not pursuing, Sam, I called you Joe, sorry. Sam, I apologize. Can you just see if you want to keep it that way? Because I don't want to go to Mike Dutton and talk about it. I can definitely see what the problem is. The money's going in a different direction. The
Yeah.
money is coming back to the rec. I'll go and fight this way. See if he wants to change it. If he wants to leave it the way it is.
Yeah.
Then get insurance. And he can run the program. Are you guys all in agreement to that? But if he wants us to run it. And it comes to us, then we'll take the steps necessary.
Yeah.
To talk to the college and talk to Mike Dutton.
Now, Brooke, do you remember the money coming in? Was it put into our
Revolving account, wasn't it?
revolving account? Okay,
So the town saw it.
right, so they started going
And
out.
it went out before they could take it.
Yeah.
It was,
Always.
it was compact, so we took it in, we paid the expenses, we paid the last bill, and that was it.
Okay, we can add that to one of the things further in our agenda is that letter to Mr. Dutton, and also I think it's in the agenda.
I wouldn't
And-
talk, I wouldn't bring it up to him like that, because it's not, really- unless Sam says to us. They want us to take.
Right,
take it
once
over.
we get the.
Otherwise,
There's no point,
Yeah.
you can't.
I want to say.
Right. No, I meant once we get the
Oh,
answer,
yeah.
which way they wanna go.
The next meeting, you can give us a yes or no. How you want to go with this, we'll do it.
Yeah. There's another little wrinkle in all of this, which apart from all these machinations about the town sponsoring track or who pays for it, the university has a new track coach this year. And she has expressed some interest in doing maybe a youth track program of some sort. Sort of like they used to do other camps at the college. They used to have summer camps for soccer, volleyball. Kids would be coming in all the time. And they haven't done that since the pandemic. And I think the college or the university may be willing to do that again. So that's sort of in the background that if nothing works out here, maybe the coach would be willing to get something going at the university, which would at least give us something in the town for track. So I'm kind of keeping that in the back of my mind, but it would be nicer to have a bigger program like we used to have going back a few years. So that program was 30 years in running.
You ran a great program, Sam. You
I
did.
agree with you, Sam, because if your program, would be for just Bridgewater residents, that one that she runs is probably gonna be. open.
Right. It would probably be open, yeah.
So,
Right,
I mean, I'd love to see this one exclusive just for our residents.
Right,
Yeah.
and I just hate to see the college take away another one of our things.
Yeah, it's hard. It's getting harder over the years to run these things.
Well, I think if you can keep this one in place one way or the other, it's a private running club or through what,
Yeah,
that girl, that coach could still have her at a different time.
right.
From the surrounding communities, and they're doing that as a fundraiser, as you know, and also to promote the, the campus and stuff.
Right.
Mhm.
I think I put in my email that we're going to have a district-wide kids road race this year. Instead of just a Bridgewater kids road race, which also went for 30-something years, 35 years. So we're gonna do a kids race for both towns on a Sunday afternoon in May on the BR campus using the roadway.
Is
So that should be nice.
Rain?
What's that?
That the two towns, Bridgewater and
Yes,
Rain?
that'll be for both towns, yeah. And that also gets us out of the university, so I don't have to deal with that.
So that's gonna be at the high school, Sam? I missed that.
Yes, it's on May 21st, Sunday afternoon at the high school.
How far is the run?
1 mile.
Is it from North Street? The entrance all the way straight through?
Yeah, it'll start probably pretty near to the front of the high school building. I have to measure it out and then go all the way down to North Street and turn around. You can get a mile in.
Nice.
I think I could be wrong, Sam, but I think if you just went straight from the start of Center Street to the start of North Street, it's like a little over 7/10, so. You might even want to think about running around the school, they got a little road there, somehow to add it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So it's, I think that'll be a nice event. We're gonna do 2 races, a kindergarten to 4th grade and then a 5th grade to 8th grade. And I hope that the PE staff is working with me. And I hope that they will, carry it on in the years ahead. And we also have the company that's helping me is called Northeast Race Management. And that is being, the owner of that is Dan Lamoureux, who has a 5-year-old in the school system, and he also has twin daughters. So he's going to be around for about 12 more years. And he also puts on the Crush Cancer race at BR, which is in April. So his company is actually going to provide the insurance rider for the race. So that's a good thing for us. So we didn't have to go to the town, and the school district won't sponsor it, so to speak. But we have his company to take care of that.
Good. That's what I was
So-
gonna ask, who is covering the insurance?
But you're not bumping into the police department's road race, are you?
No, that's got nothing to do with it.
No, but I'm just saying that they're not in the same time period.
Oh, no, that's in September.
That's, I was gonna say, that's in the fall on a Saturday.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I'll get with Joe Gillis and see what he thinks about the idea of insurance coverage, purchasing it, and I'll get back to you.
All right, thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Thank you
Steve.
for your support. Nice to see you all.
We're 100% behind you.
Thank you. Take care.
Or insurance is a bunch of, you just, like, you won't call US, sports insurance, there's a whole bunch of them, they're all. What they do is they get
No, he's gone.
big blanket one cover. Yacht camping.
Right, Mr. Flaherty, so the,
That's,
well, actually, the budget is next unless,
yeah, because it's. Separate, so, like, I agree, where communication issues with the town is, we can't, you don't
I
want to
didn't
swing
realize
it.
it was a private, oh, that is.
anybody else
Once
want to
once
take
you
it?
guys
Budget?
pick up
Agenda, do I have one?
the next thing, Jimmy Smaller, do you have any information on the Parks and Recreation budget? We finally have a budget this year?
We have a budget, but I put that on there just because I know within the next month here, we're gonna be getting ready to kind of submit all the budget for FY 2024. So I didn't know, with your guys is 80, 120, 160 years of experience here. If you guys had, anything that you think maybe we might, in the past, maybe we've had that we kind of got rid of, and maybe we should try to purchase again.
Well, we really never had a budget.
Well, way back when we had one, but,
Right.
then that was kind
We
of
used to write before your time.
2000 and, I don't know, 5 or something, but
We used to have a decent budget.
So I don't know, I didn't know if there was anything we were thinking maybe we might wanna purchase or fund or
What,
capital and I don't know.
Right.
can you
Any
do for
equipment?
capital? Capital expense.
Well,
You
I know-
fencing,
Yeah, like there's fencing,
like, looking for it.
there was some stuff I gave him at last April and it's just basically all the stuff that we used from the golf course that we obviously can't use anymore, so fertilizer spreaders,
They won't let you use.
spreader sprayers, stuff like that, utility vehicle. I mentioned a Sam Pro to him because the way it kind of stands now is Little League has a Sam Pro, so that's theirs, it's not ours, so
Yeah,
we use it, but I ran it by those guys. I just said, how do you feel about us kind of using theirs? And I said, would you rather that I just kind of put in for it? They said, yeah, it's probably time to just get our own. That way we're not, cause I
Yeah,
told them, I said, if I'm using theirs and the thing blows up. And
Right, and there's the.
I kind of gotta,
Yeah.
yeah, and I gotta pay somebody to fix it or,
What's the Sam Pro? What
like the trap machine we had at the golf course.
Yeah,
That thing you ride around like a three-wheeler.
yeah.
So these guys have one with a plow that you kind of push back in front of third and first base and home plate, and it's got like a little box blade on the back you use to pick up material, infield mix and level grade
How much
out.
should I use it without you? You're the one using it.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
I'd rather have you use it, because you put some guy on it, and doesn't know what it's doing.
Oh, yeah, that's theirs though. That's the one that they have is theirs, so. Instead of using theirs and breaking theirs, I figured we'd put for one of our own,
I
Jim, can you put together, I'm glad you're including us in the budget.
the budget,
process.
if you guys want it, I keep forgetting to print it, but it's right on the town's website. Every department's budget's on the website, so.
yeah,
But I'll print it out. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, or at least give us the link.
I'll send,
I can never
I'll send
find
it to you.
those.
Jimmy,
I gave you one last time, remember?
Yep,
why don't you put something else in there that we can use, something, without the golf course anymore, having to have a capital, capital
Yeah.
project. They're out of the capital projects now. The management team has to come up with a project using their money. So there should be money in there for us to buy something.
well, they put. The way it was explained for CPC, because community preservation. Because there are things that came to us that we said should be a town expense.
Yeah,
One of them is the windows at Hemlock Drive. For the housing authority, and we said it should be a town thing. They said it would be a capital project and it just gets put on a list. Then one of the counselors was explaining to me, it gets on this big 5-year list. And every year they look and see, okay, what needs to be done now, so it's not like right, Jim, it's just, they just kind of,
Yeah, I think so.
they
Like that,
kind of pick and
like that,
choose.
I was talking to Mark about that building. I call Glenn Tuff's building just because he's got his golf cart in there, but right out here, that building, it's kind of the roof is compromised,
well, let's fix it.
yeah, so we got some money in the budget, but the money that we have has been kind of like rolled over from budget to budget for a couple of years, so I don't think, it's probably based on
So
pricing for.
the town owns all the buildings out here, right?
Mhm.
You know what wouldn't be a bad idea, and I can do it with you, is we can go through all the buildings,
Yep.
see what they need, and as a mass building thing, and then we've got a price, because obviously. If everything's gonna be the way town government switched, and if everything is, we have to fight for every dollar we can get, we're better off putting in the budget, even if, you want.
Yep.
It might cost us 7,000, we ask for 10, they give us 6, we're somewhere, and then at least we're holding on to money. But we can go through that, Jimmy, and,
Yeah,
take a
that'd be-
look and
that'd be nice.
just get a dollar amount as to what it
That's a
takes.
good idea, Mark. Great.
Because that's one of the things, and I'm not getting on a soapbox or anything, but, we live in Bridgewater. This is a good town, the population has grown a lot since I've been here since '98. But our fields, there's no reason why our fields shouldn't be, and our parks shouldn't look nice like a lot of other towns. My taxes have grown 50% since 2012. You know, there's money there, people are coming in, and I understand everybody's looking for money in town, but let's try to get what we
Yeah,
can get
that's
to. But
Yeah.
if that's one place to start, Jim, I'm more than willing to do
Yeah,
that.
that would be
Yeah.
helpful, very helpful.
Jimmy, too, depending, you mentioned fencing, depending what the fencing is. Remember, you can put into CPC too, if
Okay,
it's a safety issue, like if it's around one of the. I
okay,
think we covered this field over here with the new dugouts.
okay.
We did the fencing on it because it was a safety issue.
You know, these like they call them 7A, 7B, these ones right out here, these two. I know the dugouts, we did, you know, Charlie did these things came out great, but there's a couple. The ones up, I don't know what he calls it, we call it the upper stone dust field, which is this one right over here by the basketball courts, the lower stone dust, the upper stone dust. Kind of like you can see, you might know better than me, it's the concrete blocks are like cracked and.
Yeah, it needs some work, we played.
So
up
I
there,
don't know,
you
like
so-
structurally, is it I'm not gonna go as far as say it's a hazard, but I mean, it's just, you can tell it's not right. So maybe we could look at those things. I
When
don't
do
know
we
if
need
that's
to come up with
CPC.
a capital project?
They have capital projects, they'll take any time of year.
Yeah,
You can give to them and they'll put it on
How
their
about
list.
Scotland Field too, anything we need to do up there?
same thing,
They could-
dugouts
they could
over
use-
there. And the benches, I was gonna try to get on those this winter just because they're kind of. They're not great, they're a little ragged, so,
Now, new dugouts. The
Yeah.
dugouts now no more
The
no more
dugout-
backing, you can be all open.
no, they're there, I mean, it'd be nice to blow them out and do what these guys did here. I don't know,
I think we should.
financially, if we have the money, I think that's probably the way to go, but right now the roof, there's like a hole in one of the roofs up there.
Up at Scotland, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they're tough.
Is the Stillman stuff, well,
Okay.
yep.
Okay, so what, yeah,
those-
just get this.
Those would be things, I don't know, if those qualify for, I guess we just get the price on all of them, and find out.
How much
we
money
wanna
you have
put
left
in
in your budget?
Yeah, they took our copier,
What is it, our copier?
well, it was
No.
water
It was
department's
there.
copier.
I don't know what happened to ours. I don't know what they did with that.
Call.
Now we've got nothing.
I'll see if I can work on getting one,
Yeah, she may have some, yeah. but-
I'm sure I'm sure they have some,
Yeah,
Put in your budget.
Right.
yeah, so
Well,
if you
And
think-
get treated like every other town department.
if Jimmy can put together a wish list, a capital wish list. And from walking around with Mark, what needs to be done for the buildings. I'd rather put in too much and have them cut it
I
down.
think that's the best, I think that's the
That's-
best, the best
well,
avenue.
yeah, at least get a price on what we know. Needs to be.
there's no
needs to be updated.
playground things we need to do.
No, what I got scheduled is, just for peace of mind is, to have the playgrounds inspected by. I don't know what these guys' certifications are, but there's a playground certification that they have. They come in, they inspect everything, and tell us whether it's safe.
Yeah,
Just
but then
Just a roll room,
you gotta fix it.
just a roll room. Yeah, I mean, that's
That's the problem.
that's the
Yeah.
idea, just so, just so we know that everything's up and,
How much money do we have in the budget left?
I mean, I don't think there was anything for
The
that.
budget only covers his salary.
Yeah, no, they gave me some more, more than that, but I didn't put in for like, getting all the playgrounds
Oh, you gotta,
Probably should
inspected.
be some backup fund.
That was last year, cause and,
That was
they
your
were-
first year too.
yeah,
Together,
they basically said to me, it's probably gonna take you 3 years just to figure out like, where you're gonna need the money, where
can
you,
we do this? What does that budget have to be in by?
I don't know, it's not, I
They
mean,
have
it's
it-
coming up, it's,
They,
Can you put
very
something
late
together,
April.
yep,
put a budget together
yep.
and let them chop it apart?
Yeah, that's what I do, that's what we do, but I didn't know if you
But
guys
bring
had
it to
any
the next
ideas,
meeting.
what's that?
Bring it to the next meeting. And then we can put-
Rec
Yeah.
meeting? Okay,
Is that too late?
no,
no,
because they haven't even sent the
You
forms
agree?
out
Is
yet.
everyone else agree with it?
I would
put it
think,
on there.
I would think
We
they're gonna
used to do we used to have a good budget all the time. And then they cut it and we've sort of been just playing.
yeah, they've been pretty good. I mean, they did give me, basically. I didn't have anything in March when I took over, but then in July, they did give us money.
How much?
It was like, I think I put in for 41,000 and then they gave me some more on top of that too. And that's just for like, expenses, so that doesn't include, salaries and all that jazz, so. But
Well,
Every time,
I think you're saying nothing.
the,
But now we got
the,
one, your salary.
the big things are gonna be, I think, like, the big ticket items will be the buildings, like this building, we should probably have this building looked at, I mean.
I think we should look at all of them here, around it.
The building Charlie,
What's that?
Charlie fixes it all up.
Yeah, I mean,
I was thinking of him walking up with
I-
a camera and it's time to get in here.
Great.
yeah, just to go through all of them, yeah. Get a price, I think that had been done, but that was probably.
I think this building's in that bad shape.
Maybe we could get a price for each building, then you could even prioritize that.
Yeah, then you can say,
There might
hey,
be
good.
one that's like real dangerous,
Yeah,
take care of others you can. Maybe wait a year or
Yeah.
6 months. more.
Yeah.
How about backstops, fencing,
yep,
and then put the lawnmower in?
yep.
Get a bigger lawnmower, put in for that, just put in as much as you can,
You need
because
a new truck.
the town's got money.
He just put in, Charlie just got one, that was brand new when I started in March,
Okay.
so, that mower.
How about
What about a
irrigation?
truck?
Yeah, I agree, it's pretty good. I bought quite a bit of heads and stuff.
Do you need anything down in the lower field here? Could we put an extension down to the lower softball field?
We talked
Stone
about
this field?
possibly trying to do something like a 5-year. Master
Football.
plan on the senior field,
It's some money right now.
just to put some
No, we do.
irrigation in up there, because it's got infield irrigation. It's got irrigation in front of the dugout, but it doesn't have the outfield irrigation, so.
Let's do it. Put it in. All they can say is no. But,
Go high,
That's what I said.
go high, maybe they'll cut it and still be.
So maybe you still get,
That's what I said is, I'd rather put too much and have them cut it
yep,
than.
hey. if
Yeah,
they match
then
it,
me and Joe and Arrow and to put, Joe was when we were all kids.
Yeah.
He was the one that took care of all the fields. Actually, I said his grave today, I walked by it. At Park Cemetery. But he was like bare minimum. It's like, yeah, we can get by with just this.
yeah, and just being in being a contractor and stuff,
But that was like.
that's
50
great,
years ago,
for a
too.
while, but when you're dealing, just because eventually if you don't take care of things preemptively, you end up with,
Yep.
twice as much of a cost
Yeah.
dealing with it down the road. And like Dan said, there's money out there. And let's,
It is the town.
let's just,
yeah.
start raising our hand for all of it and see what they give us.
Town and state.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
I had a couple weeks ago, I had a CPC meeting with Michael Dutton.
Yep.
And we're just talking about different projects and which ones were done with the pickleball courts. And I said that you and I, which we still have to sit down and forget what was charged against it. And I said a couple of the things that should have been Parks and Rec and community preservation funded the pickleball courts. And I said they were paid out of the pickleball courts and should have been Parks and Rec. I said how Jim had said to me, we don't have money. That isn't why it was paid. It was just paid out of the wrong account. And I said, my response to Jim, and I told Mr. Dutton, just give Parks and Rec more money. And I just hop on them every time. For CPC, give Parks and Rec more money.
Hey, are we doing the parking lot there too, by the pickleball courts, or is that the town gonna do it?
Do you know?
I think that's.
Highway?
done. I
And
mean, what else,
Melissa-
we brought in all that reclaimed asphalt and rolled it, I think that's done.
Okay, I didn't know if they were gonna put more on it. Do you need anything with those courts, the pickleball courts, do you need to buy anything?
We should have somebody. Paint them, I mean, that was. I don't know.
That's the next thing, and there's two pieces of paper
It's not-
I need you to say.
Okay,
Pieces,
what's next on?
pickleball.
Hey, but by the way, I'm looking on this here, the annual report,
Oh, yeah.
it says 2023.
Oh, you,
Me, Jim Campbell, Mike Flaherty. I think I was last year or 2 years ago. What is it?
oh, you're serving.
Oh, for your term?
Oh, is that what it means? Start?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Gives me a term is up.
Is my term up? Says 2003.
Well,
2023, yeah. I
I
don't-
got
Jim resigned and Dan re-upped last year in 22, so you,
Technically didn't, because I never responded to him.
Well, you kind of did, at Charlie's party.
well, it's too late now.
You kind of, you kind of did. Did you
Um,
respond?
How many years is it? 5 years?
I don't know. Whatever term I have, I
No,
think goes until
it's-
next year.
They-
I think it's
they
3
changed
years.
it up.
They take out two of you on a 5-person committee. They take out two and put in two new people every 3 years. But there's 1 year when only one person goes out. It's very convoluted from what it used to be. Mark, you're here till 2005.
25.
Is that what it is,
25, right, 25.
I'm already done. Quick, guys, you're making up. Put in the budget.
Do we have to go to the?
Mr. Flaherty, really,
We-
the next thing is pickleball
Okay,
in real life.
Hey, Gina, you going to this?
do we already talk about the pickleball courts? Jimmy?
Let's talk about that.
No, sir, we are going to start now.
Talking? Yeah, okay. Pickleball courts, anyone have any update on them or anything to say?
Well, I'm just reading what these, who's this guy here?
There's,
Peter.
okay, that is just something I want you to be aware of. Mr. Flaherty, I don't think you got it. I will send it to you when I get home.
Okay,
There is a well-meaning person on the pickleball team site who is offering lessons. And I just think that the commissioners ought to be aware of this, because technically that when you opened the courts, that was not the way you wanted to go without sponsoring people who were giving lessons. Because it was your first year, you were going to just see how it went. And this is the first time someone has tried to do this.
now is
It's
he
winter
doing it?
time. I'm sure it's very helpful to people, but you're going to need to make a decision come spring on how you want to handle people that want to give lessons.
But
And
it's-
people do want lessons.
Yeah, he's not going.
No.
here.
No, but he's using your site.
Yeah, he can do whatever he wants.
Okay, and then the other one is sort of a PS from Mr. Ekman, who was here in November. And again, he's talking about charging. And I know that the commission is still thinking about how to run that. Which goes back to the budget of hiring someone to monitor the courts.
I'm still
I'm
against,
not supposed to.
I'm still against charging. If we wanted to do like a weekend tournament, I know. What's his name?
Joe Pitta?
No. Tony, in a sense, he had said that he would be glad to help out with it. Just to do a weekend tournament that, people pay an entry.
Yeah.
It's enough to cover nets and things.
Yeah.
Nets and supplies. I'm just personally against charging for it.
Well, I think, I don't know, just reading Mr. Ekman's. He said there's like 40 regular people, or whatever, you get hypothetically, and I think. And I agree with you, Gino, I think if we could somehow set up. A pickleball revolving account so that all the money that went in there. And I don't know how you do this, maybe Jimmy, you could help us with it or somebody, but. And all the money and. There's gonna be a lot more people down using those pickleball courts. Mr. Ekman and all of us are never gonna see on their own time, you know, it might, and pay for free, but. It would be more of a donation, so if we all made a $40 donation, say. Or whatever it is, and then we have tournaments and all that money went in, but we've gotta somehow make sure. All the money comes in, goes back to the pickleball, you know, like it's almost like it's a separate. I'm using the word revolving account, I may be wrong, or almost like an enterprise. I want to. Cause what I think you'd be afraid of, let's say all of a sudden we had $5,000 in it and. We wanna do something, we found out, well, and it went into the general fund and $5,000. Isn't there anymore, and I'm speaking more from my experience in the school district was a little bit different, they were notorious for that. I don't know how the town is, but. So I would be in favor if we could set up, I agree with you, tournaments, fundraisers and or. Hey, we're the Tuesday morning group, we just all throw in $20 a piece every couple months. But write it out so it goes in.
Just for
Yeah.
maintenance and upkeep and whatnot,
So,
yeah, keep it
I
specified.
agree with you, I think what you're saying is. We shouldn't have someone down there like every time you come in, $10, $10. No, I don't think,
And
No.
who's gonna check cards?
right.
Like if you pay $40, I pay $40, Tommy doesn't pay.
Right, who gets priority?
Yeah, but
You know,
we're
you
used
get
to that.
somebody
with him.
kicked off, and-
You know, who's gonna be there to check?
No, we don't, but I think if we make it on a donation thing, and there was a group of
Yeah.
us, let's say we had like our own little unofficial league. And the other charges, hey, and everybody, you know, we should all throw in $20. You know, bring it down and deposit it,
We,
cause we're all gonna benefit from that if we maintain it.
we play 6:30, in the, during the summer. The weather warms up, the light gets light. And there's so many people coming after us.
Right.
It's like crowds of people. I don't know how you're gonna start, unless you have someone there all day
Yeah,
collecting.
I don't think you
It's
do
a
that.
lot.
I think.
I don't think you can do mandatory, like, fee, but
Right.
again, I think if you
So
just.
what am I gonna get? I give you $40, what am I gonna get?
Just,
Nothing more than the person that
no,
gets
but
pays
we'll,
nothing.
no, but we'll know that there'll be some upkeep of that place.
Yeah,
Cause if we don't do anything, like a lot of things,
Look like stone.
you know, no fault of anybody in the town, but if you mentioned, if you don't maintain things and you let it go. It's even more expensive to fix it correctly, so.
you know, it's not a Monday through Friday, it's a Monday through Sunday.
Right.
It's every day of the week, people are there when it's clean.
You can, you know, we could, in reality, because if it's on our oversight, you know, start off with maybe a tournament once a year and you charge for the tournament. And then if you have groups, you know, you go in with a group of guys, we need it for 2 hours on a Tuesday, you sign up through Park and Recs, whoever. All right, well, that group, let it be known, if you want to reserve it on a regular basis, or reserve it in general, there is a slight fee for it, and that money can go towards the up.
Like. I did the
Somebody's
fees for the year.
gotta be there to say, hey, you gotta get off the court, they have it.
We could have a sign, you know, this court is
It's
reserved
It's
Yeah.
Tuesdays, 7 to 9, something
Give them
similar to that.
time to do that.
Yeah, I think that'd probably be better, make more sense with like
At least
Joe and
so you know
Tony
it's
and
up
those
there, you
guys, just because they'll know.
But Tony.
Oh, the net's taken down in the winter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I took them down and
People.
double wrapped them in
Somebody has a
plastic
portable,
bags and,
a portable.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
right.
In every warm weather,
yeah.
they have portables, they're putting them out to play.
Play.
Yeah, I think it's out permanently,
All
Yeah.
the nets are.
the portable one.
Is the porta potties coming next year?
Yeah, I got them scheduled to come April, beginning of April.
Good. It's. Well,
They should be coin operated. It makes some money pay for it.
It ain't gonna make people any neater, that's the problem with porta potty. Nobody cares about the person coming after them.
Now, what,
it's good.
can,
Please deposit more money.
yeah,
It won't let me out.
the
How much you put in? 75 cents instead of $1.
Bruce's last comment is Jim Campbell has access to a defibrillator. Where is the defibrillator? I mean, is it in Jimmy's car that,
Defibrillator, the defibrillator is at
is
the,
it that building?
Senior center, right?
it's at the Conan Center right now, because she takes them back, cleans them up. And does all the maintenance and batteries and all the crazy stuff on them, and then they give them back. I didn't even know we had one. That's
I
why
thought it was in that little
I
shop.
had
there.
made calls and so first I called Little League and Pat Murphy told me that, yeah, we have one. All right, so then I called football and they said, we think we might have one. I don't know if we have one. I thought we had one.
Sure.
So then I ended up calling the Conant Center to try to get the training for our staff and probably the summer, it probably makes sense to get the summer. At least Nancy and then whatever. But I talked to her, I said, yeah, I guess Little League's got one, but I'd like to get one for football. And she says, that's for Legion Field. She said that one from Little League, I gave them that. I donated that one to him. She goes, that's
So it
That's
should
for
be
the
for
whole,
field.
that's for the whole place up there. So I'm like, all right, okay. So
Well, we should find out
Where-
where.
There should be some grants. I know at the school when you.
Where-
say grants,
where's
you gotta
the
find it, take some grants.
the concessions now, but that's
I say football.
Little League's basically, that's where Little League keeps it because I guess primarily they thought, it was kind of theirs,
But
but
does that have to be like charged and checked all the time to make sure it's in?
well,
I
that,
mean, it's certified yearly, I believe, on those.
yeah, they
Okay.
go through that thing and that's why I had actually reached out to John Schlatt's with the
Firefighter.
firefighters just to see if before I knew that we had one and it was for everybody, see if we could get one through them maybe. And then they would kind of put us along in with the rotation of their maintenance on theirs and it
Well,
would
you should, I don't know, cut off, Jimmy,
it would
but
match,
just- well, we did at the high school because of the fields are so spread out and. You have it here and even in, not just football, in the spring, you got the little kids playing baseball up on a football field.
I know.
For to run down, get it and come back. is a-
Yeah,
it's a
I
matter
thought
of
about
minutes, so-
getting like, there's that little shed behind the senior field, something, I don't even know, but exactly, somewhere like,
Everyone's
that's
gonna
almost
know
by
what
that
it is.
gazebo maybe or
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
But this facility should have. More than one,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, I agree, so I don't, when I had talked to her, she basically said, yeah, that one's for Legion, so I don't know.
yeah,
And
There's too many
I
people
looked
down
up,
there, too.
there's,
too
it's like,
far, like you said.
Yeah.
pretty much,
I mean, at the high school, we have one in the concession stand in the football field, we have one up at the John Rowley's building for the fields up there.
yep,
We have a portable one. And then we have one right outside the weight room in the gym, just. The high school itself is like 3,
yeah, so it probably would be.
But this what's scary. You're not even sure where it is.
No, I know where it is now.
but
Where?
But what if football?
She has a Conant Center, she takes it in and,
No, but think how funny that is. It's at the college.
Yeah. and
We
there's-
can't.
no, but here's the other thing.
well,
too,
that's
Jimmy.
because it's the winter time, we don't have
Yeah.
any programs going on right
But
now.
you and Ray are there, could help. But you could, God forbid, something happened to one of you guys.
I know, but
I'll get
she's gotta go through that thing, she's gotta.
But here's the other issue, and it could work both ways. Football season in the fall. Kids up there, do they have keys to get into how are they gonna access that and vice versa?
It has to
If
be-
you move it
they
up
said
to
that-
next and such instead in the fall, and if the
Yeah.
little league games going on. Do they have access?
What I'm worried about is more on the week, Monday through Friday for football, because of the practices going, I mean, they got, like you
They
guys
should,
saw 'em
yeah,
last
should,
year, remember the parking, so they practice here, they practice at the senior field, they practice on Stone Dust Fields.
Well, the only other way we could. Do this is if large groups use our fields. They're required to have their own defibrillator,
Yeah,
right? I'm just saying Bridgewater Little League, then what's
Mm-hmm.
the other one? Youth football, maybe even. Softball's not here anymore, but they all should.
Well, they need one too.
But most of them mounted and there's a plug, they're plugged in.
Yeah, no,
mounted.
no, they're not all plugged in. If you can do that, that's fine, but a lot of them are just battery operated, but the batteries last a long time, but you have to check them. And they take them and it's a quick charge, but
Yep.
Could be something we should look into some grants for it. I know
yeah, I
it's
thought the Conant Center would.
What
I
did
think they
Johnny
could do
Slack
that.
say?
They've done that before.
just
He
get.
said look
We should.
into,
so that when
maybe
you go
us
on
getting
service,
something,
They
yeah.
work and they have something
Um,
on site, so that.
I have to take I'm gonna
That's
take the
worth-
training on
Yeah.
one of
That's
the
what I
kids
was-
here.
That's what I was looking at.
So when I take the training, I'll ask her on like
Like, you're supposed to be happy. when you-
whether or not she thinks we.
Are you required as a town employee to do that?
Plug it in.
No,
I think they were recommending that you get first aid and CPR
See,
certified.
teachers, we had to keep up.
And I know, we had one at the golf course, so we were always certified there. So,
Honestly, well, first aid, but the AEDs are, it's almost foolproof.
Yeah,
Even Mike could do it. I mean,
Is
He's
Mike still
frozen.
I
here?
might be sleeping.
he's frozen. Oh, wake up,
I'm enjoying listening to you guys.
We miss you, Mike.
All right, hey,
we do?
can we jump back over to the? What's our thoughts?
Jimmy, on that, on the monitors, why don't you put a list of like 4 of them where you think we should locate them? Because they gotta be in a good spot where you can get
Put
quickly.
that in your budget.
Where did you, so where do you guys think
It's a
that,
great idea.
where do you think that they should be?
Well, I think you need,
I mean, obviously, you did tell me that, Pat Murphy said that they're required, their insurance requires them that it's a certain distance from the field, from
Right,
their
right.
fields.
That's what I mean.
That's Little League.
That's why they keep theirs there. So,
so
Is
in
there a
their
way
in their
to-
snack bar, in the brick snack bar, or I'm not saying in this.
Right.
like the,
That building.
either the concessions. or
But
the-
you said there, the garage over here by the big baseball field.
Stone dust too, you could probably run up at upper
You know what I
Stone
mean?
Dust.
Do they have to be like inside? Can they be?
I
know, but,
someplace
I
outside?
don't give a shit if it's dirty, you can
I
mount
know
it,
you-
it's just, cause that could cover these fields and the big baseball field, between. All of them,
Yeah, you get
they would
access to
overlap them,
Yeah. Enclosed to play be outside.
I think they could, a lot of them, they can mount in weather
Like one of
protection.
those-
They have a better, but the thing is, if you, I'm just afraid if you leave them outside here, kid at night is gonna come out and just damage them.
Yeah, that's a good.
Right.
Unless you had some type of built a box. That.
Then they'll damage the box.
We could have the plastic cases they mount in, and we could try it, and then at night, they get taken and put in their respective spots. Hopefully the
Yeah,
plastic
but
cases
I'm
don't
just
get
thinking like the ones at the school, even the ones inside, it's in a
That's
solid
the-
box, almost like that exit sign box, a
Right.
little bit bigger. It's mounted, you can't take it, that mount itself, I can open, take it out. The defibrillator itself, but the box,
Right, no, that's what I mean, the box stays, but you could just take the
But-
defibrillator in and out, potentially.
Yeah,
Let's worry about
yeah.
getting them, I suppose, first, and then we can.
I
they're
think
gonna be
Jimmy's kind
responsible,
of,
because like
Jimmy's kind of working
football,
on that.
I'm just thinking that these sports
He got
teams don't
one
practice every
pickleball
night, so if I
over
take it
Yes,
home.
it's one at the senior center.
From Nancy gave one. to
Because
Well,
Jimmy,
the football,
but
he left like,
He's
the
working on,
baseball
like,
side, no, during
The
baseball season,
logistics of mounting it.
you know, they put
at
that, put out
pickleball,
each
so-
day, you know, and
When he comes up with something like that, I'll see if I was just telling Jimmy got that one for pickleball from Nancy from the Common Center donated, so. When he's going.
College Center does a lot of that, they have grants and they.
That's who I'm getting the training from. That's who we got, they gave us this one. She gave Jimmy one for pickleball, but he's going through the logistics of where to mount it, how to mount it, and how to kind of like keep it so it's. Safe from people messing with it at night, but also available if God forbid there's an emergency, so. He's probably got that already done already. I'll just call him and see what he says. So you're thinking.
you
you're
get back to us
suggesting
on that,
maybe
Jimmy?
gotta get another one, at least another.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
At
Mr.
least one
Flaherty,
more,
could you
right?
repeat that?
Jimmy, you'll get back to us where we should put them, where we can get them and stuff like that?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, you
Okay.
will.
Let's move on to the Biddy League update. Who's got that? Anyone?
Yeah, Superintendent Small.
So I reached out to those guys, because one, I hadn't heard from them, so I was wondering whether or not, and I called Brooke just to kind of try to figure out when it was starting. She said, yeah, they should be over there. And we made an attempt to get a hold of, is it Doug Bumpus at the
Bumpus.
Williams School, just to see, what he knew, but I don't think either one of us were able to get a hold of him. But I did finally get a hold of him. He said, yeah, he's been working directly with the janitor, I think at the schools directly, so. But I had told him basically that, he needed to make sure he got his, and this is coming from up the ladder, that they get their quarries kind of like ironed out, because I think there was a little bit of assumption that we were gonna be doing them.
what the park, two park and recs.
Yeah, I think that they
We always.
for
run
whatever
coaches.
reason.
Well, no, I get, but like
And now we're not. The
Right.
town said we can't.
it's to each organization, right? They should take care of them, or it's on each organization to get those done, correct?
Yeah, so I reached out to the Badgers, Bob Long, and then Pat Murphy, and Pat said, yeah, they have, he gave me the group that they go through. And he also, I guess they wear a badge that kind of,
They give it to me.
they take classes, he
Yeah.
said, we, everybody takes a class and kind of like the do's and don'ts of, operating with, youth sports. So I did forward that along to Jesse from, Biddy basketball, so he said, yeah, no problem.
We do a Corey to coach for Biddy. But that's, there's no, like in soccer, there's much more extensive classes you have to take, which. It's not, that's a sports wide problem. It's time, they're asking a lot of
Yeah.
time of volunteers. But that's an issue I can't solve, but as far as, but I do know that Biddy does do Corey's. Well, we filled the form.
But as a rec department, do we acknowledge that? If you shouldn't be there because your Corey didn't pass, or that's the thing, that's it, that even happens at. High school coaching level, we send the Corys over, but we never. Sometimes we never get informed of what the outcome was, and all of a sudden. You got a guy on your sideline, something that shouldn't be there,
Yeah.
So,
No. I don't
Wasn't there an
understand.
association that did
We're-
the?
When I'm sorry, Mr. Polarity, but when the rec commission ran, the rec commission was told, not this guy.
I know that, but I'm saying, yeah.
So they did know, but you can't tell anybody what you
No,
know.
you can't. But what I'm saying is, how do we know when the individual sports programs, football and
You
baseball?
won't know. You won't even know if they run them.
Well,
You can't be told, I can't tell you Jimmy failed his.
I'm not
Corey.
saying
Jimmy
that,
can be
but-
told that. You're not welcome. to
Are we
coach.
gonna be liable that for one organization didn't do Corey, then there's a person out there that shouldn't be?
Yep.
Right.
No, you will hear it.
well, the head of the league,
They're gonna say, hey, how did that happen?
Whoever runs the quarries will know.
No, but see, I think that was.
for the
again,
league,
I'd met with the town hall, and they said. We don't run that program, so we don't do the chorus. She said, if we ran it, then we do the chorus, but we don't run it. So she said they should be doing,
So hypothetically, if there's a little league coach out there, they didn't do Corey's, and there was someone out there that shouldn't have been. And we
That's on
won't be
Little League.
liable because it's on little. League.
Ask them to put it
That's
in
right.
writing that,
that's,
because the day something happens, they'll say, oh, well, rec was supposed to do it. Don't let that fool you. They would dump it on you.
I wasn't even
Well,
talking about,
it's
I'm talking about the town line, it was like.
Right,
Yeah.
but the town says,
I mean, the other thing is, where we ran into it one time is another group from another town came into the high school. How do I know that? I mean,
Yeah,
I
that's
can't-
right. You don't know who they're bringing in.
I mean, Little League plays an all-star game on here, and the team comes in from
wherever. I agree.
wherever, how do
Let's
we know?
just say Fall River.
Yeah, I mean, I had one, it was a wrestling match, and all of a sudden they come over, that guy, he's got a restraining, or he's not supposed to be here. Call the AD, I called the police, I said, the guy says, oh, I got it cleared up. He pulled out a letter, it was backdated, I go. Send a cruiser down. I mean, I'm not gonna be responsible, the guy, he was calm and nice as could be, I don't.
No, I don't, I never want to get into one of those. All right,
okay, next on the agenda,
okay, hey, but can I just go back to that pickup? So we're not doing anything with the.
No, we're not charging, there's no fee.
Okay,
I
good.
think they're saying, they're trying to create just a.
Little business.
Some way to raise funds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I would say no.
We can skip.
I don't-
Well, we have to set up an account before we start.
We better go
Right.
into the business.
Right. Right, no, that's it.
Field basketball court, most kids say, I'm gonna pay 20.
Right, that's what we need.
That's not what they were saying, I don't think, I think that guy was just saying that some people just wanna chip in,
Yeah,
and that money will go. Have a cost, but
If
you
you
also
don't.
don't wanna give like $4,000 to some guy and then all of a sudden he takes off. That's why I think if we put it to some,
Oh, we lost our audience.
Mike,
No, we
Still
got
can-
one.
Phew.
I'm just saying, if we
Mike,
put it in
I-
an account that's safe and it's earmarked just for that.
do they have those anymore, Gina?
what,
Any revolving accounts?
I don't think so, do they?
Small, like he find out.
Yeah.
If we run
Do they
something,
still have,
do they have a revolving
That's how,
account? that we can
that's
put
how
money
you run.
that's right, because that's how we pay Brooke,
all the user fees and stuff.
I know we have,
Are we still paying?
recreation
Brooke?
has a revolving fee.
Okay.
We'll see.
That's the next question, we paying Brooke.
Just put in another time.
And that's what I
slip.
deposit all the, like, I just got a check from, football, I deposited in that today.
What was that for?
It was for paint and electricity,
See, that's great.
so I sent him I forget the guy's name, Brian Heath.
Can that just go into the general account, Jimmy?
Brian's still
But
there.
that goes into the revolving account.
Did you hear Mr. Flaherty?
Yeah, that goes into what we refer to as the revolving account, so.
So if they need more paint, do they get it out of that money or?
Well, they're all set, because that was for football for last fall, so.
No, but where does the revolving account, where do we see it again? Any expenditures? Or is it just going to the town?
That might be a question we might wanna come from you guys and me. I mean, I'd like to, I myself, that's a big one for me right now. I'm going through with a lot of these little league and men's softball is, you know, I don't know because they've given us a budget, but the money that we take in for revolving, I was under the assumption that was supposed to be used to go back into the programs, the field, whatever, you know, I mean, we'll get a budget together for that stuff, but
No fertilizer.
I thought that was supposed to be kind of, so I don't know, I'd like to know that too. I really don't know the answer to that. I know in the past it wasn't, but
Was it revolving or enterprise?
Revolving.
revolving.
Right.
Water and sewer is
Cap
enterprise.
on it, you couldn't go over a certain amount.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't remember.
I know you're
which
supposed to
one
use, I know the revolving, I thought there was a number. And then I think you're supposed to use it up.
Maybe you should find that out, Jimmy.
it is.
Yeah, I'd like maybe if we could,
I thought it was just me.
I'll tell them that, you know, we're all kind of wondering. But yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna ask them.
Actually, Mr. Flaherty, it might be covered under the next agenda
I don't,
item, old business, meeting
All
with
right.
the town council and the finance department. Either Mr.
So we can
Solante,
ask them then.
yeah,
Yep.
why don't you?
I think what happened in the lien,
Um,
was the money you got from these organizations went into a revolving account to pay the bare minimum. But if they're funding salaries now, the revolving account should be used to do projects and.
yeah,
Fertilizer,
you
the
know,
line, you know, the stuff you need to take care of.
yeah,
I know, but
Because you never used to charge
You know,
user fees.
aerating the fields. And
for the longest time, usually
Yeah.
people were just covering the salaries.
you have an
some
aerator.
salaries, right?
I have an aerator, the 1996, that's
Oh,
from the
yeah.
golf course that doesn't work. I
So
got like
that-
4 pieces of equipment that don't run.
And I used to walk around and feel
I
like.
gotta try to get them to
No, I really mean that.
I gotta try to get them to fix it. I'd be happy if we could just get it running. I tried for,
Put it in, put it in, and let them settle, kids 100,000, put it
It's
in.
just something, because the time you spend trying to get it running, it's time you can be doing.
oh, yeah, I will,
I've been here
yeah.
for an hour and a
As
half.
of for
and
right,
you get your hands-
If I could get it, even if I could get it going now, I'd like to get on that, but if it
Does
doesn't.
the
matter, it doesn't
highway
run.
department have mechanics that could work on it? Or they're short staffed too?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a kind of a above my pay grade. I mean, that's something we'd have to work out with. I'd have to work out with Paul from Highway and their mechanic.
Do you know Paul?
Yeah.
How is he? Both
Great.
working together.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, Paul's great.
Okay, we have, any discussion on old business, meeting with, the town council, Jason Rollins, and the
Okay,
finance
can-
department.
Can we just jump, not jump to that, the CPR and first aid? Is this open to us too? Or
Yeah.
just town employees?
Yeah,
Anything.
no, I think so. yeah.
Okay, I think I might sign up. I haven't had CPR in years,
I think it's
okay,
I think it's pretty.
I haven't needed it either.
yeah. Well, I haven't needed it, thank
I've had
God.
about 7 cardio versions and 2 ablation, but I.
Yeah,
Hey, I've-
So who
I've
can
had two
go,
heart attacks.
but
I've had 2 heart attacks, so I've been.
like football, right?
Yeah.
Football
Yeah.
season's over. So there's gonna be none of their volunteer coaches going to this because they don't know who they are. They're gonna sign up in the fall.
Yeah.
And, I didn't know.
I don't know how they-
Vicky basketball's already
She-
started.
She
This-
did tell me that I know a Little League, I'm not sure about football, but I know Little League does, she goes, I do a lot of Little League, because they require, Little League
There's some-
requires
there's one
every
called-
coach,
That's why they.
at least
classify
one coach
heart attack
on
as bone
both teams
cardiac
has-
enzyme
has
heart, that's what they
they
measure
use
heart
their-
attack, it's supposed to be like 0.0.
they're pretty good, they're on top of
minus
everyone,
14.
these guys are.
And so if one.
So
not-
if I
well,
want
one day,
to back up,
elevation
I
might
just
fall.
fill this in.
I
and
just
then
had
bring it
patient
to
went,
whoever.
"Rest of my arms, this guy didn't make sense to me, it was.
Baxter emailed.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's,
Seeing on TV.
that's what she told me, she
Some
gave me the
hospital,
dates, and she said,
They
just,
check that. and
Okay.
I
Which one you want?
started shooting me up the stuff.
Yeah.
like this, and-
Which one are you doing?
I don't know, I really don't wanna go on a
Yeah, when I was
Saturday,
like,
if I can help it, cause I know,
the time I was.
I'm sure my
I don't know,
kids.
early
my
40s.
son, I've got me running around somewhere.
It's still Monday.
So I was thinking Monday, but then I get up at 9:30.
So that, but I wasn't.
Not the
like, it
first
went in,
Monday.
there was no block.
You get out at
So that's why I
3:30.
researched
Where do you see
it,
that?
because the struggle.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I read it wrong. Sorry,
Yeah, I was looking for we,
read it wrong.
I think
Which
it was
Wishful thinking.
The
Yeah.
first day of both Saturdays.
maybe the
Yeah, the
20,
first aid, you can do you can stay all day and get CPR done too.
Mhm.
I think the CPR NAD has first aid, and I think that one, I think that's
Oh,
included, doesn't
okay.
say it, but I think it is.
Can you see this? This is this was actually emailed to you, Mr. Flaherty.
Okay, all right.
I thought you were hiding the mic from us. Okay,
Still here.
okay, sorry.
Yeah, maybe not.
First aid.
I know it used to be when I, but that was,
Yeah.
that could have been, that was,
When you look at that now, like Saturday, you can, if you wanna go all day, you get your first aid one done and CPR. The two Saturdays, February and March 18th.
Yeah.
Then the other nights, the Monday nights are just CPR.
Okay.
Is there any discussion on, any further discussion on that? The CPR and the first aid? Because I'd like to move on to the annual reports.
Okay.
I think it required us to do 2 reports, one from myself and the commission, and then another one from you, Jimmy, right?
yep.
Mhm.
They both seem in order to me. Does anyone have any discussion on them?
I thought they were very good written. Thank you, Brooke. My only thing is
Which one?
Parks and Recreation,
Commission.
this one. It
Yeah.
doesn't say commission at the top, or just say commission. I just think it should say, Brooke Condon, administrative assistant.
No, I don't do anything extra. Charlie's was here at like 6 o'clock in the morning when the fields needed to be lined. You
Mhm.
know, they did above and beyond, and you appreciate that.
Right, but you have yourself here. On the
No, I'm on
department
the
one,
department, yeah,
but not here.
right.
Why?
Oh, well, I actually work for you.
Because it's just like Jimmy isn't on here either, this is just the commission. They are members of the department, they come to these meetings as representatives of the
Right, but
department.
she works for us too for the commission.
Yeah, I do, actually.
She gets
In
paid
my
for
own-
doing our minutes and our meetings and. Writing to
All right,
it.
put it on there then.
Yeah. Just put yourself, but I thought the rest of it
What's your
done.
title, is it administrative?
Administrative assistant.
For us too?
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Give
guess.
yourself a fancy title if you want, right?
I'll think about it.
Yeah, all right. Other than that, we good?
Mhm. Do you think that, I mean, I think the stuff for Jimmy Campbell is good. But it also takes up most of the report.
I think it's block accurate.
Okay,
I think it's fine.
Okay, what do you guys think?
well, if I don't bullet it, it'll just be a paragraph.
I really have no
Yeah.
preference how you do it.
Okay,
Teachers,
Maybe.
they're required for AD or no, you know?
That's a good question.
What was your question, Jimmy?
If teachers are required to be AD
I think
certified,
so.
I was just wondering,
maybe
let's see if, do I even have,
Not bullet.
I'll ask her.
okay,
Let's see if I can have her do it. Share.
and take out
She might be certified already.
I know
adjectives.
coaches do that too.
little long on the adjectives.
Like I put a ton of stuff for his
I
proclamation.
told you I was using that.
And they just cut most of it out.
Okay.
Or is that what you used this from?
Yeah. Town hall will totally rewrite it anyway.
All right, we're good?
Good question. On the proposal here on that
Let's stick to the agenda for it.
Yeah,
That is,
That's what we're
the
gonna
next
work it.
agenda item.
What's I'm trying to close the meeting?
no, we still have found
Oh.
out.
All right.
Are we done with the reports, Mr. Chairman?
I think so.
Well, let us know.
Anyone all in favor of the
Accepting
reports? You want to vote on one of them at a time?
No, together.
No,
Okay. All in favor of the reports?
wait, we need,
Well,
we
he can
need a
write his
motion
own.
first.
I make a motion to accept both reports,
Not get crazy.
one for the commission and one for the rec department in a single vote.
Second,
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
Aye.
what's next on the agenda? We have this thing too, this conference thing.
Jimmy, do you know what this support letter for the old, what are we gonna, for the old state farm trail? What are we gonna say? We're just in favor of it, or what's going on with that?
Yeah, that's just the funding that I think, that's through you, right, CPC, so they're just trying to, I think, get the funding for phase 2 for the state, the old gig from State Farm Trail. It's over by the prison. I think we have a map here, which I know doesn't help you much, Mike, but
Oh, I can,
I'd be willing to take a picture of it and send it to you if you want.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to figure out where this is.
So this parking lot here is almost at the bridge going in the middle.
are you gonna do that?
Or the-
Okay.
Yeah.
That's this one.
Got it, you got, they should have done
Yeah,
it.
this is up.
I just. tried.
Okay.
Along Summer Street.
CPC has approves phase 2 $65,000 for
Wow.
the survey. I'm sorry, 40,000. It was, the cost of the survey is 65,000. They have a private donor for 10,000. And the TWRA, I think those are the letters, whatever Kitty's organization is given 50, has raised 15,000. So the town's already voted 40,000 for it. The history of it, or I guess it's all in this letter too.
Is
So,
this, Gina, is this being proposed?
yeah, it's being
There's
surveyed.
there is one now, right? But it's not that, they want to make it bigger.
Is there one there now?
I think, I read it somewhere.
I think John Hart said that. He said it was really, it was overgrown or whatever.
Yeah,
John Hodge should be there.
Well,
He should be here.
and the states.
that's
get-
another thing, and I said it at the last meeting. That was kind of passing, but we should bring him in. Just to update us on the other, I found it interesting when he was here, but. I don't know about this particular one, but. I believe there is a trail that's not marked all that well there. But I think they obviously wanna, with this money, wanna expand it.
Mhm.
That'd be a
Now,
great-
John Hart, is he getting budgeted through recreation or is it through the town? How is that?
Conservation or something, isn't it?
Yeah, as far as his salary. Is that what he's talking about? Yeah, there's a line item in the budget. I think it's like 17,000.
With the two parking, you could almost.
He works 13 hours a week.
Make a loop.
His salary?
Park.
Let's do it.
From the town?
Yeah, he's an hourly employee, but he works 13 hours a week. I think he's budgeted for 17,000
Oh, okay.
a year.
To avoid the millionaires town.
Yeah, he doesn't want to have to pay all those taxes on it.
Yeah. Okay.
There's nothing up there.
So I'm sorry, Gina, I missed what you started. Is the CPC organization part of this?
CPC just in January quoted $40,000 for
Okay,
the survey.
okay.
It had to be done
Mark, you walk that?
no later than, no, they wrote it in December. Because it takes the council 2 weeks. More than that, to
So that,
4 weeks, because they meet every other week. And they do a first reading and refer it and all that other stuff. And Kitty's group, they're, I don't know, NW, whatever they are. NRTV, Natural Resources of Bridgewater, Trust of Bridgewater. They could apply for this huge grant, but they had to show their funding was in place by January 31st. So that will hopefully cover a good part of phase 3.
What
But I
is,
would say where phase 2, CPC has already granted that, and that's all that we have the application for. I would say if we still do a letter of support, that it would be a good idea to have trails. Just for backup with it. If we agree that it's a good place for trails.
That'd be a great place, great spot.
I'll make a motion that we support the,
Second.
Write a letter.
we write a letter in support of the proposed Old State Farm Trail.
Second.
Run or walk. I bet that's great.
second it?
I seconded it.
Okay, all in favor?
I,
Aye.
Unanimous?
okay, another thing. I don't think Mr. Deck has written for letters of support, but, and this is why it would be good to have, what's it from?
John,
Yes, John.
Yep.
So I had him to remember.
I knew what you meant.
To have him at one of the meetings, because the town CPC awarded, I think last fall, 1.3 million for Styles and Hart improvements, but it's a 50% reimbursable grant. So we'll hopefully get 650,000 back into CPC. That's for basic improvements of all the trails. They're also looking to. It was going to be purchased, but they changed it to eminent domain by the billboard next to the Chinese restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
There's 2 parcels of land there. It's owned by Bonfiglioli's.
Really, Steve?
Yeah, and I didn't realize that there's some background to that, how he acquired it.
Must
Right.
be buildable.
But they're giving it, they're not giving it to the town. It's actually,
Jax.
they're looking to get. Well, like I said, it's searched to eminent domain just because of the process of acquiring it. For less than what the appraised price is. So that's something they're looking at putting a parking lot there, depending, the wetlands have all been delineated. So the town might be coming to Parks and Rec for a letter of support for that too.
And what's the parking lot for?
What was that, Mike?
What's the parking lot for?
Styles and Hot Trails. Right now, there's no parking lot for
I know
that.
just who it is. I know Steve Bonfiglioli is donating it because someone donated it to him.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he's not donating it, he's still getting paid well for it, but
He's not getting any much.
yeah, it's less than the appraised.
That goes to the
Well, I
clay.
don't know, some of these things have already been voted in money, and now we want to, should.
Well, this is the only one,
Oh, shouldn't we put the
Yeah.
letter in before? Because once they transfer the money, it's a
we
done.
should,
Oh. All right, I'm just saying,
yeah.
the one of
It,
post dated or something?
CPC wasn't going to vote until the January meeting, but when we found out about that grant. And it would take a month to get through the council, so otherwise, this would have been fine for us to.
What is the CPC money? That's 2% of our tax bills every year.
It's 2% of your tax bill.
That's a
over-
huge amount of money every year, isn't it?
Not farmland though.
The 100,000, the first 100,000 of your appraised value isn't put for CPC.
It's a lot of money every year. I hope they keep track of where it's going.
we keep track of
I
it.
think they must, yeah.
I have a vice chair. Who watches every penny.
Who's,
Oh, no, when I was on that committee there for a short time, representing the rec. I know where every dollar was.
Yeah.
what's happened to the mobile station in that property?
That's getting the town's taking it, making a part of it. Or expanding.
I think I just lost you guys. It's not over. I just, you could
not
disconnect. I get disconnected.
It's over or not over?
No, no.
Oh, Mike's on a Zoom, yeah. Oh, are we recording? Oh, my little battery, is it plugged in? What's the battery? Did you unplug it?
No.
Must have pulled out a little when you moved. No. Maybe push it.
Oh.
No. You must have yanked on it a little bit. They can finish